Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be focusing on why you may have a fear of getting started, why you may be able to not stay consistent on things, why you might be procrastinating so much and unable to achieve your goals. If you want to fix all these problems that are holding you back, achieve your goals, this is the video for you. So let's get right into it. Often in situations like this, where we're scared to even get started on something, there can be many reasons why fear is getting in the way, and it can also get in the way of multiple things at once. So let me use the main ones that a lot of people deal with, which would be the fear of not starting at all, which is kind of like in the middle, probably where you are right now. Then there's the fear of failure, the fear of everything going wrong and not working out, and there's a fear of success. If you haven't heard of the fear of success, when I first heard of it, I thought it sounded ridiculous. I'm like, why would I be afraid of success? Until I really thought more into it. And there's a lot of things that go along with it, like maybe you're afraid of the responsibilities that go along with it. Maybe you're afraid that if you get to a certain point, like there's further to fall, there's more to lose. There's a lot of reasons why you may be afraid of success. But most important thing to think of here, amidst all of these different fears coming from every angle, let the fear of not doing it take over the fear of doing it. When you start to worry about the things that you have to do in order to achieve it, the times that it maybe hasn't worked out in the past, or you didn't put your all into it, so you saw that as failure, take all of those fears and anything else you can think of, look at those and look at what your life would feel like if you didn't achieve this goal, if you didn't even try. Because it's actually very easy to look at the goal and be like, okay, well, like, if I don't do it, then I can't fail. And then I can't actually be super sad about it. Like, what I would say would be, oh, but like, if I don't do it, then I don't have to risk failure. And it's always there. It's always like a potential, like I could do it at any point. And like that keeps me going, even though it's like actually harder to be doing that and looking at the goal and being like, I'm still not doing it. Why can I not get started on this? Both avenues of staying where I am or the fear of failure are too scary. And then even when you look at the successful one, it's still scary because then your mind is coming up with other ways that things could go wrong. So there's so many things in the way. And what's really most important is to look at if this is something that you genuinely want to do, then you need to make sure that your fear of not getting started at all is bigger than the fear of failure and the fear of success. Now for the fear of failure, because that one's annoying and it's gonna be in the way. So we have to push this one to the side. And the way we're going to do this is, I want you to think of the certain fears that keep repeating in your head. So what you can do is you can write these out. Just start writing whatever comes to your mind on the topic of what fears do I feel around this that are holding you back. Even if they don't seem related, just write them down. If there's a ton of them, look at them for a certain pattern, look at them all individually, and once they're out on paper, they're more visible to you. And so then for each of these fears and things going wrong that you worry about, start writing out solutions for each of them. See if there's extra inner work to go along with any of them, because some of them might be kind of from a different route and they're kind of working their way into that one too. But what you're going to notice is that some of them, they really don't even matter. They're not a big deal. And the worries we have are often like a lot bigger than it should ever be necessary. And most of the things that we worry about anyway don't happen. We often get like this very over dramatic view of the things that could go wrong. And then like 90% of the time, 99% of the time, they don't happen like that. And even if it does go wrong, like it's like still salvageable, like it's easier to get through than your worst case scenario thought. It's very rare that worst case scenario thoughts even happen. So that's a good thing to remind yourself of. And don't get too caught up in these solutions and like prepping for any of these things. This is just important to write down and give your brain some type of comfort, realizing that this was acknowledged and that there are ways out of this. Because I like to think about all of the successful people. And a lot of the time, people who aren't successful give up after little failures or even bigger failures. But the people who really are successful, they've gotten through those big failures or smaller failures, they kept going and they didn't give up because something was hard. So don't let the fear of that happening, it's not even happening yet, you haven't even started yet, you don't even know if it's going to happen. Don't let that stop you from even starting. It's like you shouldn't go curl up in a ball and worry for the rest of your life when you know you're gonna die at some point anyway. Like, it's kind of the same thing. Like, wouldn't you rather live your life and enjoy your life even though, like, you knew you were gonna die at some point? Like, you'd rather get to the end of your life and be able to say, wow, like, I really enjoyed this life, than to have been like, oh my god, I'm gonna die someday, I can't enjoy it, like, I have to just, like, curl up in a, like, you know what I mean. But yeah, but even once they're acknowledged and out on paper, even before you think of the solution, it's already going to be helpful because you're going to be able to see some of the things that have been there and in the way. And just acknowledging these is already going to help you. And I also want you to consider, especially if your brain's still going, yeah, but like, what if it still fails and like nothing works? Okay, if that really happened, nothing was working, you couldn't get it to work, you did everything and like you have no more motivation left to do it ever again, then it wasn't meant for you. Sometimes some things that we do don't work out and then we don't want to continue doing it because it wasn't meant for us, first of all. It's easy to quit something that you don't really want to do, but don't let those habits of doing that stop you when it gets hard and the thing you really want to do. Think about how much you really want that thing and how long you've wanted it for. If it's something that you wanted your whole entire life and nobody else has influenced this, like nobody's in your ear telling you, well, you should do this, and you want it because somebody else told you wanted it. Not like that. Something that you genuinely want for yourself, you feel like it's a part of you already. You feel like you can't go your life without doing it. Like, those are the things that you need to make sure that you don't give up on. Now, backing up to what other people think. Do not let other people's opinions, other people's fears, other people's existence stop you from doing things. If you're thinking about what people from high school would think, what your old friends would think, what your friends now would think, what your family would think, if they wouldn't be supportive about the things that you're trying to achieve, then they're not a good part of your life. Because would you rather be living your life for somebody else, keeping yourself small, doing what other people want, and living like that for people that really don't care truly about your happiness, or who don't really care about you at all? Would you rather be living your life for them, or would you rather be living your life for yourself? And sometimes, sure, it's hard. There's going to be people that you thought would support you, or that you want to support you and they're not going to, but you can't let that stop you from doing the things you want to do. And I also like to do the friend perspective. Even if you don't have even if you don't have an amazing friend that you can base this off of, if your friend had the same problem and they had this great talent, this great idea, this great thing that they wanted to achieve, and they weren't doing it because some people were telling them that they shouldn't, or they were worried what other people would think, would you look at them and say, oh yeah, you should definitely not do it because the other people might not like it? Like, you wouldn't say that. I hope. But yeah, so sometimes you need to take an outward perspective. It's easy to get wrapped up in things when it's your life and it's the things that you have to deal with. And sometimes it's going to be uncomfortable and people are going to be a certain way. You just have to be prepared for that. Write it down, write down your solutions. What if this happens? What would you do? There's always a way out of everything. There's always a way to fix things. There's always another solution. You're never stuck in one specific thing. The brain is always looking for evidence to prove specific points. But if you're like me, who would come up with the other little things to kind of distract me from the things that I actually wanted to do, like, I started a few little businesses on the side. They didn't really work out. There was no tragedy involved. They weren't worth it. They didn't work out. But the problem was that I wasn't that into them. I wanted to prove to myself on a smaller scale that I could do something before I actually started to do the things I wanted to do. Don't let those other distractions get in the way. Also, those little things that you tell yourself, oh, I need to do this first. Maybe I need to feel more ready. Like, I need to wait till I feel more ready. Maybe like in a few months when this is this way, or this is this way, like I can do it then because this or that. Like anything you're making up as an excuse, if you keep doing that, there's always going to be an excuse. If you're waiting till you're at a certain place, know a certain thing, have read a certain book, whatever it is that you're coming up with for an excuse, once you get to that point where you actually have done that thing, you're going to have already thought of something else that has gotten in the way of you doing it right then. As you said before, you're going to think, oh, well, actually, now I need to do this. And that's never going to end until you tell yourself, you know what, I'm giving myself permission to do this right now. I don't have to wait. I don't need these excuses. If your excuse was, oh, like maybe I should brush up on my knowledge a little bit more first and like read this book, get started and then also read the book. Like get started first. No more excuses. But yeah, stop tiptoeing around the thing you actually want to do by doing other little things to prove to yourself that you're capable of doing it, or like to set yourself up for it, to make yourself more ready. You don't need to waste your time doing those things unless you genuinely want to do them. But don't do it to prove to yourself that you can. You can do it. You don't need to prove it to yourself. Prove it to yourself by actually doing the thing, the main thing that you're putting off. But as I was saying, the brain takes in knowledge to prove points. So if you're doing things and not really following through because they weren't that important, like you were like me doing little businesses on the side, even though I wasn't putting the effort into it, I was like reinforcing the belief that like I can't do it, giving myself more evidence that I can't. Like that's not helpful. Like that was not helping me. That just made it harder because then I'm like, oh yeah, but like these didn't work out. What if this doesn't work out either? And so there's always going to be like some stupid excuse in the way. You just got to push it to the side and be like, you know what? Like I'm just going to go all into this right now. I'm letting the fear of not doing it take over my fear of getting started. And really just think about how you would feel if you never ended up doing it. If you are on your deathbed at the end of your life, what do you want to be saying when you're there? Do you want to say, oh, I never did it because I was too worried what other people thought. I was always making excuses. There was always another excuse. I wish I just did it. Or would you rather be saying, I'm so glad that I just went for it and took all those risks and achieved all my goals because now I can die happy knowing that I did everything that I ever wanted to do. And not just then, you deserve to be happy right now. You deserve to be achieving those goals. You deserve to achieve all of those goals, and you need to give yourself permission to do so. One more thing, to make sure that these things are actually what you want. If money did not matter, you lived in a world where money had zero influence, you could have anything you wanted, what would you do? Would you still be doing this one thing? Or these multiple things, whatever your goals are, would you still want to do them? If money didn't matter, if fame didn't matter, all those other aspects that may be getting in the way and making it seem a little better, if none of those things mattered, would you still want to do it? And if the answer is yes, then that is absolutely something you should be pursuing. So then let me ask you, do you want this? Do you want whatever goals that you came into this video wanting to achieve? Do you want them to happen? If the answer is yes, then it's time to make that change. You don't need to wait for the right day. You don't need to wait for the right time. You don't need to wait for the new year, a new season, a new month, any of it. Not even a new day. You can start right now. Start with little steps. In the book Atomic Habits, he says if you have a hard time like staying consistent with things, literally just get up, get ready as if you're gonna do the thing. So if you were gonna make YouTube videos, for example, you get up, get dressed, whatever, sit down like you were about to make it. You wouldn't have to make it, just you keep doing it until it's like a habit and you're always like ready to do whatever it is that you want to do. I think that's also a good approach because sometimes like sitting there, sometimes for me like sitting there or just like taking the camera out and being like, okay, and then I'm like, wait, I want to make a video. So like for me, that's like a great type of thing. So, and one of the examples that he gave was going to the gym, getting up, putting your clothes on like you were going to go to the gym at the time you wanted to go to the gym. Even if you didn't go to the gym, you still got up, put your clothes on, and so it was a habit that you had formed the behavior to do that thing. So I think that's a great idea if you need a little extra push on how to do that, I would definitely recommend reading that book. It's very helpful. At some point I would like to do a video on it. But yeah, I really hope this video was helpful for you. Also, don't get too mad at yourself if something doesn't work out or you have a setback or something. Always just stand back up and keep doing it. Because if you lie on the ground after you fell for the rest of your life crying and playing the victim, it's not going to get you anywhere. But every time you fall, if you get right back up and keep going, you're going to get where you want to go every single time. So I hope this video was helpful for you. If you have any other tips or if there's anything else you wanted to share, leave those below in the comments. If there is any video recommendations you'd like to see from me, I'd love to hear from you. And feel free to subscribe to this channel. I'd love to have you in the community. My channel is based on self-improvement content, mindset shift, like all those type of things, becoming the best version of yourself. And please like this video if you enjoyed it. And thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you soon in the next one. Bye.